G'day guys, how are we going? Welcome to Monday Night Live 36. I'm a bit nervous about this one. Not wanting to own up to how much gear I've actually got, but anyway, here we are. I'm going to be as open as I possibly can. So tonight's show is proudly brought to you by Gold Rat. And tonight's giveaway is the mini Sluice, the backpacker Sluice. These are normally valued at about $110, I think, something like that. Fantastic little sluice to throw out in the throw in a river and test it out. It's got the mini dream mat in it, which is super great stuff. So yes, so all you need to do is share for tonight's live stream, and we go from there. Right, so welcome. So tonight's show is all about my gear, and yes, so if you've got any questions as we go through, we've got some a few bits and pieces we need to get to, but first off we'll start with tonight's picture. I just need to bring it up actually. So tonight's picture is from Alicia. Now, I've got to, where is it here? I had it up here before, but I've lost it now. But I'll bring it up in a tick. So, Alicia sent me this photo in, but we'll get to that in a minute. There is, the other thing I want to just talk about is, quite often people want to get in contact with me. Messenger is really good on Facebook, but if you want to ring me, just ring me. That's my number there. So obviously don't ring me right now because I'm on a live show, but that's my number. You can get me most of the time on that. So if you need to ring me and ask me questions, just feel free to pick up the phone and ring me. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons that a lot of people like buying stuff off us, because they can just pick up the phone and ring my mobile number. So, right, so here we go. Alicia's, I've got all the details here of that picture. So let's clear us out of the road. And so that picture there is Adelong Falls in New South Wales, and the ruins are the Reefer Battery Gold Mill. And Alicia is part of Grotty Gold Prospecting. I haven't had a good look at their station yet, but just a cracking little photo there, and yeah, some beautiful country there. So, so yes, go and check those guys out. They're doing some good things from what I can gather. Okay, so there's a stack of people here already. Got Cal here, and Baz, and Vanessa, Paul, Lynn. Vanessa, the phone number is only for metal detecting questions. That's all it's for. Michael's here, Paul's here, Scott, Brad, Brian, heaps of Robert, Meg, heaps of people here. So let's get on with it. I've got Taylor here. I realised this afternoon I've got so much gear that I need a hand with this show. So Taylor's decided to hang around with me. So let's start off with metal detectors. Can I have some metal detectors, please, Taylor? So this one here, Garrett AT Max. I do love Garrett machines. In fact, two or three of the machines I'm going to show you tonight are Garrett machines. I like them because they're easy to use. I like them because they're waterproof. But the Max is always has been my sort of go-to machine. Like if I need to do a little job or someone rings me to go and find a coin, this is the machine I'll pick up. It's nice and simple to use. I know how powerful it is. I know it back to front, so that helps. So Garrett AT Max. So that's my VLF machine, and then the other one is the XP Deus. So XP Deus is, I love the XP Deus It's super light, can shrink up really, really small, great out in the goldfields as well. And for someone who's into metal detecting, the XP Deus is a machine you can sort of really get in and tweak and play with and, you know, ruin all the settings and fix them up again. Yeah, so I'm using these white coils a lot. These are the high frequency, so you can get high frequency coils, you can get low frequency coils, you can, there's new coils just come out, X35 coils. It's all wireless, it all comes apart. Like, it's like, here's the battery for the coil. Like, how cool is that? Like, so it's something I really geek out on, and I just love that little machine. And 800 grams, like, yes, 800 grams. Wireless headphones. In fact, I've got the headphones here. I'll get rid of that machine. And here, I think I've got the machines here. These are, sorry guys, I was unprepared. So these are the headphones, right? So the beauty of them is, right, they're not headphones, they're actually what they call backphones. So you can actually wear a hat on top, because there's nothing over the top of your head. They just sit on the back of your neck and sit like that. Get the hat on, away you go. So, so they're very, very clever. I love those headphones. In fact, all of the headphones for metal detecting should come out like that because they're awesome. Yes. So, so they're the VLF machines I use. There are stacks and stacks of VLF machines on the market. I could quite just as easily be using an Equinox 800. I could just as easily be using, I don't know, Technetics G2, but they're the two that I love. So, yeah, I really, really adore those two. They all come with, like, you can put all different coils with them. There's all sorts of accessories. We won't go into accessories too much tonight. I do have one machine. So, okay, people are asking how much those machines are. So the AT Max is $12.50-ish at the moment. The XP Deus is about $18.50. So they're both high-end VLF machines. The wireless, I will show you a wireless system at the moment that you can fit to any machine, but that wireless backphone, you can't fit that to any machine, worse luck, otherwise I'll be using that with every machine because they are super lightweight. And I use VLFs, people are asking do I use them just for treasure. So I use VLFs mostly for treasures. I am using them in the goldfields as well, particularly in those really trashy areas. Like I just came across an area at Warwick that is super trashy, full of iron and what have you. You have to use a VLF in there. You can't use a pulse induction machine in there. So, so yes. So I still use them for gold prospecting. In fact, that the patch of gold, that 30 odd nuggets that Warren and I found, you've probably seen the YouTube video about that. That was with the Max. I found that with the Max. So that was when it just came out. So Nadia, David Nadia's here, Marie's here, Damo's here, Craig's here. G'day guys, how we going? Okay, so the next machine is a bit of a beast. I love it, but I only use it for one reason only. It's my beach machine, and it's a weapon and a half. It's a modified. It's all falling apart here, but it's a modified. So it's an Infinium. All right, Garrett Infinium. Okay, a fantastic machine. I've put it on a big giant coil on a aftermarket shaft. It's got a Mars shaft on it, but just a phenomenal. I got to clean the sand out of the shaft. The shaft's a bit full of sand, but just a phenomenal machine on the beach. There is not a better. You got to dig every target, but not a better machine on the beach by a country mile. If you don't mind digging every target, and we'll go super deep. So Garrett Infinium, they've stopped making them now. I think we can still get bits and pieces of them out of the States, but they've stopped making them. But I just love it. It is just raw power. That's all it is. It's just grunt. So all set up with a pair of wireless headphone, waterproof headphone. This is the machine I use diving. So, but just an absolute beast of a machine. So it's a bit of a mess there because it's all all over the place, that one. But it's probably it's so heavy. It's so horrible to. It's not. We might shrink that one down, Taylor, if you don't mind. It's just such an uncoordinated, but it's so much power. You know, it's a ridiculous machine, but it's phenomenal. So, but on the beach, it's like a vacuum cleaner. It's just awesome. So, Mars stems are about 150, 160 bucks, something like that. Yeah, really good shaft. So, yes. So, okay. So, this is my other little favourite. I use this machine a lot. Very untidy. Garrett ATX, okay. The best coil that you can get with it, 8-inch mono coil. You really need to get that coil to start with if you're buying ATXs. Just phenomenal. I have got, I'll hold it up here, wireless headphones on it, so I'm not attached. So that's just the Garrett kit. You can add that Garrett kit to any machine you like, and it makes the machine wireless. So, and then I'm running this with either the steel phase or even the gold snitch. I'm probably leaning towards the steel phase at this moment, but that machine on small nuggets out in the goldfields is absolutely phenomenal. And you need the 8-inch monocoil. Half of the coils I don't like with it, but this 8-inch monocoil is just phenomenal. So people just joined, that's Garrett ATX sort of thing. So it's a bit junky at the moment with all these cords and cables. I've been testing a few of these boosters and enhancers. So, but I will get shorter cables and get it sorted a bit more. But that there, I just love that machine. So. So people are asking, compare that to the SDC with a with the booster. I don't think there is much difference between the two machines. In fact, this has got a lot of advantages because you can pull that coil off and put a different coil on it. But I'll probably get shouted down because everyone loves the SDC. But this is a phenomenal machine. So otherwise I'll be using an SDC. So yeah, we are looking at doing more Mine Lab reviews. Yeah, so we are getting there with that there. So Garrett ATX comes in the hard case. So does the close that. So does the what is it? XP Deus machine. So what I tend to do is so for the Deus, I actually run a bum bag with the pinpointer on it. And each one of these machines, I really have a different search bag for us. All of them, and I've said this before a million times, all of them have a snakebite kit in them. Every bag I own has a snakebite kit in them. So, and winter, summer, at a park, down the beach, always have a snakebite kit with me. Because, you know, we walked onto a stack of brown snakes in the middle of the coldest day. Brown snakes, they were black snakes. Middle of the coldest day out at Warwick, and yeah, and there were snakes everywhere. So XP Deus hard case. I love these hard cases for the machines because they go into the back of my ute and bounce around, and you know, I'm not the nicest. Yes. Right. So, Stephen, so that's a booster, right? So it makes the sounds louder, if you like. That, where's Taylor's put that? So that Steel Phase 1 that I've got on the ATX at the moment, it actually seems to sharpen it's more of an enhancer. So it seems to sharpen the signal. So the biggest fault that I've always had with the ATX, so with the SDC, when you hit a target, when you go across a target, you hit that target. You know there's a target there. You go bang, and what was that, right? With the ATX, it's always been, there's this question in the back of your mind where you hit a target and you go, oh, what was that noise, right? So the thinking in your mind is different. When you put that Steel Phase booster on, can you pass me that Steel Phase booster? That ATX, I'll leave it on the ATX. Yeah. When you put that Steel Phase booster on, right, it hits the target like bang, and you know there's a target there. So that's why I'm using that at the moment, because it seems to really sharpen up the signal and makes a phenomenal difference. Some people prefer these, some people prefer these. There's BZ boosters, there's boosters everywhere, but this seems to sharpen the signal. Yeah, it's much, much sharper. Yeah, the ATX is a pulse induction machine. The last two machines are pulse induction machines. So, yes. So, lots of talk. So there's 4 machines. They're the 4 machines that I have. So, yes. So we seem to have a lot of talk about, since I mentioned snakes. So these are Snake Protects. The colour's not right, I know. It's crap. So Snake Protects, that's the brand of them. These are the gaiters used by snake catchers, right? You can't, they're the best snake chaps I've ever seen. Come up to just below your knee, good strap underneath the boots, phenomenal. I wear them everywhere. I suggest, particularly in summer, everyone gets a set of those. They are phenomenal boosts. They are phenomenal gaiters. Particularly, I want to talk a little bit about safety and all that sort of stuff again tonight, but these aren't cheap. That's the biggest problem with them. They're about $150, $160. Snake Protects, there's the website Daryl's put up. Thank you very much, Daryl. Love your work. But I always wear them. I'm just too far from the car. I always have a snakebite kit with me, but if I've got to walk half an hour back to the car, even with a limb after a bite, I don't want to do that. So I'm pretty buggered with a half an hour walk up a hill back to the car if I'm by myself. So I don't like doing that. Which brings me on to my next point. We're jumping around a bit here, but if I'm by myself, I always have one of these with me. So this is a personal locator beacon. Really, really simple to use. They are a phenomenal thing to have with you if the proverbial hits the fan. So you pull the tab, you register these, right? So they know who you are, they know where you are, they know everything. So you can just everyone should have one, particularly if you're particularly when you're on your own. Like for instance, if I was half an hour from the car, right, with a snake bite, right, I would wrap myself up, right, I'd sit down and I'd pull this, and I'd just sit there with it, and so that's the safest way to do it. Sit still, relax, pull this. They'll get to you pretty quick, but you're better off doing that and not hiking an hour to the car up a hill. So those personal locator beacons are phenomenal. So yeah, they're the two biggest first aid things. I've got a full first aid kit in the car. I carry somewhere here. Is it that one? I don't know. I carry this with me, which is a bit of a I don't know which one it is now, but this one here. I actually sell. Someone asks how much are they? They're 300. Those personal locator beacons, $350 from where do BCF, yeah. So that and those two, the snake gators and personal locator beacons, are like if you're doing some remote, different if you're doing the beach and what have you, but if you're doing some remote work, those two things can save your life. And I'm talking seriously save your life. And the trick with it is, James makes a great point here. If you're walking loud, he talks about walking loud. So if you're making a racket, they'll clear off. They much prefer to clear off than tangle with you, sort of thing. That's what they prefer to do. So yeah. Anyway, so for those that don't know who I am, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every Monday night. This is Monday Night Live. Tonight we're giving away a Sluice. I think the Sluice is over there. So we're giving away this backpacker Sluice. They're actually called a bushwhacker. So bushwhacker Sluice. So we're giving that away. It's about $110. So all you need to do is share this live stream. You don't have to share it to groups. You can just share it to a friend. But that's tonight's thing. So at the end of in about 35 minutes, we'll draw this, and it will go into the randomizer, and we'll randomly pick someone out that has shared the post, and it'll go out today. And we've got a couple of Monday Night Live mugs we're going to do as well. So yes, so Monday Night Live mugs, yes. Right, so, what's this? Mark. Hello Mark, how are you? Chuck Norris got bitten by a taipan and it took a day for the snake to dry. Jeez mate, that's, yes, that's great that, yeah. So, and the other thing is, over here, that's my mobile number. If people want to ring me and get some advice about anything, metal detecting basis, not advice about, what you're having for dinner or anything like that. But, so feel free to just pick up the phone and give me a call. So, yeah, no trouble at all. Okay, so then let's move on to the next thing. We're struggling for time here. Before we go too far, let me just show you. So this here is this is my belt. It's all tangled up here for some reason. But this is my belt I use out in the bush when I'm detecting for gold. Okay, so it's got a big heavy, I believe it's a double D leather one. It's got a big heavy loop for my pick. I've got snuffer bottle, I've got nugget scoops in this bag here. I've got loops and all sorts of bits and pieces in here, lighters and all that sort of stuff. And then just and I can get a bottle of water in here, and then just somewhere to put my my pointer if I'm taking one with me. But that's what I tend to wear out in the goldfields. If I'm going a long way from the car, I'll add a little hydration pack if I need more water. But yeah, that's normally what I wear out in the goldfields. Nice and simple. I can't stand the big heavy backpacks and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's sort of what I wear. I do have a little on the beach. I wear the Garrett Diggers bag. If I got the, I showed you the bum bag I use on the. Leave that one, Taylor. We don't need to get it out. Occasionally I'll add a digging spade, like Edge Digger, to any of those belts. I don't do a lot of parks, so yeah. Right, yes. While we've got it here, here's the pick. I use CC picks. I like CC picks. This one's about 5 years old, needs a sharpen. I put magnet on the back of it. I always put the magnet on the tail, so that's epoxied in, and it's got a screw on it about 2 inches long, so it goes into the handle sort of thing. This pick's about 5 years old. I'm still on the original handle. I have given it a drink of linseed oil there at one stage, but that's all I've done to it. It's getting towards the end of its life, not the head, but the handle. It's done a lot of work, and it's starting to, for the first 3 or 4 years I didn't put any oil or anything on it, so it got a bit of a harsh life. So, but yeah, so that's the pick sort of thing. So, right, so what's next? Nugget scoop. So I use this nugget scoop. This is I'll get in behind it here. This handle's about 4'6" long. Great on the beach. It's about 170 mil wide. It's a fairly small, like it's not huge. See the size of my hand there. But it saves you so much work from bending down at the beach. So just love that scoop. It's got a far too heavy, like that's a spotted gum handle on it, like it's a shovel handle. Far too heavy. It needs a carbon fibre handle on that, rather than this big heavy timber one. But I just love it. They're awesome scoops. They're about $150 if people are asking. But this is a great scoop, and I only use this in the sand. Of course, it's no good out in the bush. You need a pick, or you need a little edge digger sort of style of thing. So this is a shovel I don't really use. This is a big shovel. It's a full-size shovel with a pointed tip. Again, it's green, so you can't really see it. So pointed tip. This is the shovel I use a lot. This shovel here is about half the size. It's like my hand can cover it. They call it, it's just from Bunnings. This is a courtyard shovel, they call it. Well, this is just if you're shoveling into a little sluice, right, this courtyard shovel is phenomenal. This is just a Cyclone branded thing. It's covered in dirt and crap at the moment, but it's just a phenomenal shovel. You cannot go wrong with a little shovel like this. You get in amongst the rocks, no trouble at all. I much prefer a lighter weight shovel than that. So it's phenomenal. Needs a good clean, that one. I'm covered in. Maybe there's gold on that handle. So yeah, it is an invisible shovel. So at the moment, my favourite bit of gear is the, if anyone's spent more than 5 minutes on this show, is this fella here. Gold Rat, I'll have that bit. Gold Rat recirculating, this is what I use out in the bush. Gold Rat recirculating 8-inch sluice, right? So it's a phenomenal little sluice. Now, Dustin from Gold Rat has just designed these trays that fit inside that, and what it is, it's a classifying tray. So all of your oversized material won't go through the sluice. You can see it up there. Won't go through the mesh, and then your big rocks you can push off the side over here, so they don't go into the sluice. The biggest advantage I see with these things is that you can actually work the clay through these perforated panels, and it breaks the clay up to a degree. So you actually, that's the idea of a high banker. The high banker will break up the clay a fair bit, whereas these are phenomenal. Now, these dream mats, these green dream mats, or there's different colours. It's all dream mat. Dream mats. The more I use dream mats, and the more I hear about dream mats, the more I just love the gear, right? I just think that it's just an amazing bit of gear. I've seen what Miner's Moss misses. I've seen what all the other mats miss, and you cannot go past this dream mat stuff. So, people are talking price. We won't worry about the price. With a 3,000 gallon pump for that unit without the classifier is about $720, and with that you get a bag of pay dirt. The classifier tray's about $50. But that's pump, hose, everything you need to run that system. So, yeah, so awesome. Now, legs, everything is included with that. Someone's talking about, you can see, actually I'll have that tray back, Taylor, if you don't mind, the classifier tray. So in the side here, hang on, let me just fix me up here so you can see what I'm talking about here. So in these classifier trays, people are talking about that these here are if you want to pre-drill the side of the sluice. So, well, let's go this way. See, that lug is just there on the sluice. So that the idea of that lug is if you've got it if you drill a hole in the sluice, you can put a piece of rod through it, you can put a bolt through it, what have you. I've really found that you don't necessarily need that. Mine hasn't moved. I just sort of tuck it under the clamp for the mat, and it hasn't moved, sort of thing. So yeah, so I find that you probably don't need to. I've only used it a few times, and it's never been an issue for me. So I don't think you necessarily need to bother with it, sort of thing. So right. Don, I've got 8-inch classifiers in stock. The whole thing's $720 and about $50 for the classifiers by itself. Sean asked, how long's that run on a battery? So I've got a 80 amp hour battery. I get about an hour and a half out of it. But then I've also got a 100 amp hour in the ute that I get a bit longer out of. And then if I'm really on the go, I've got a long extension cable that I can plug into the ute, so I can run it for as long as we want. So yes, so the Treasure Hunters New South Wales and Central Coast Recovery team are in the house. G'day guys, how we going? I saw the young guns there before. G'day Clyde, Denise, Brad's here, Greg's here. G'day guys, how we going? Phenomenal to see everyone here tonight. So tonight we're giving away, speaking of Gold Rat stuff, we're giving away the backpacker, Sluice. So share this post or tag a friend, share it to a friend I should say, and we'll draw that out in about 25 minutes. G'day, Ian's hands here from the UK. G'day Ian, nice to see you. Must be early in the morning there, I would expect. So Brad asked how much are those mats. Brad, I don't know. I'd have to have a look on the website. I don't know off the top of my head sort of thing. So so there's heaps of people here. Trevor's here. Yeah, the Dark Side's here. Dark Side's always in the house. Stephen. Yeah, the mats aren't dear. Like, Taylor might have a look at how much the mats are and respond to one of those questions there, or put a comment up sort of thing. Or put the link to the page or something like that. So, but they're not dear. Like you can get the mat, right? The mat by itself. Then you can buy the clamp that you just drill a hole in the bottom of your sluice. Like if you've already got a sluice, you just buy a clamp that goes with the mat, drill a hole in your sluice and just screw it down that holds the mat there. Like the gear is awesome. So, you know, the sluices, the modular sluices aren't dear either. So, you'll see Taylor's just put the link up there for the mats. So yeah, g'day Guy, thanks for posting that link. Right, so that's my big stuff. What else have I got? So let me show you this. Right, this tub is the world's greatest thing I've ever found. It's one of those soft flexible tubs, right? And it's oval, okay? And I use this for a couple of different things. This is a fantastic panning tub. Like if you're sampling out in the bush and you don't want to get too much water, use too much water, this is just a perfect size for sampling, doing a few pans in, you know, and you don't use too much water up. So phenomenal. Phenomenal little, and it's only not very deep sort of thing. So the other advantage of this is you've got your tub there, you run your, and then 20 litre bucket, right? Run your sluice into it, catch all the gravel in the bucket, right? Water runs in here, pump sits in here, pumps back up to the sluice. So you've got a recirculating sluice. I quite simply cut some holes in the bucket, okay, so that you get less splashing. And sometimes I'll hang a towel over here, so it just, you don't get any splashing in it. You save as much water as possible sort of thing. So that's how I use it as a recirculating thing, kit out in the bush. But these buckets are only $4.50 from Bunnings. Like, fantastic for panning. I got about 6 of them sort of thing. So, and yeah, it's just a fantastic little bit of gear sort of thing. So those tubs, if you're looking for something, those tubs are phenomenal. You can never have enough of these 20 litre buckets. Where's that sieve? You got that sieve there? this is the other thing that I've built. These sieves are the wrong colour. They're green, but that's the Garrett sieve. Okay, 10mm sieve. Sometimes I find that a bit coarse, so I actually use this. This is just something I built. It's just a little, I think that's about a 4mm mesh. I just built that. That was a tomato stake that I had sitting in the backyard, so I just chopped it up, and that now become that. The boss was looking for a tomato stake there at one stage, so. So, sieves, buckets, like I even use tubs, right? Just random tubs, buckets, all sorts of bits and pieces. Snuffer bottles, of course. That's actually got a bit of gold in it from the other day. I forgot about that. But yes, that I like these Garrett snuffer bottles. Sometimes they had a bad batch of them and they break, but they fixed them up now apparently, and they're really good. So these Guzzler bottles are good. Right, so let's talk about a bit of navigation. So I take a couple of things. I've got on my phone I've got Gaia GPS that I've banged on about it. So I won't bang on it again. So I've got that on my phone, and I've got that on my iPad that I've showed everyone, bored everyone silly with. So those two things run Gaia. Then as a backup, I have and it depends what I'm doing. If I'm not too far from the car, I will rely on that solely. But then I've also got, for more remote stuff, I've got one of these Magellan GPSs. There's all different brands. But yeah, Magellan GPS, they can really, they really make a big difference if you're a long way away from anywhere. So, right, so let me just, I can't put that back together, but I'm sure Taylor can. Right, okay. We're going to do a show, I think it's in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, on safety in the bush. And we're going to do a bit of, we're going to do a bit of old school navigation and being aware of your surroundings and all that sort of thing. It sort of explains why I don't rely on a lot of this electronic stuff 100%, because batteries go flat, things go zap and get wet and what have you. So we're going to do a little bit of this safety stuff, and we'll go into some more detail on GPSs and, well, there's not too much more detail on these locator beacons, but we'll do a bit of that safety stuff in the bush. Yes, so yeah, we'll go into that in a few weeks. So I'm sort of just skipping over a bit of this gear. Yes, so that's what we'll do with that safety thing. It's in a few weeks' time, and I'll let you know when that is. Right, so let me just, because we've got about 15 minutes till we draw the prize. So for those that don't know, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. I've got a little shop here in Brisbane. This is Monday Night Live. We do this every Monday night, and we pick a subject and we get into it. Tonight's my confessional, all my gear. Well, most of my gear. So yes, and tonight's giveaway is a bushwhacker, a backpacker Sluice. So how it works to win, just need to share this post. You don't need to share it to a group, you can just share it with a friend. But yes, so this is a giveaway. So we'll randomly draw out someone who shared the post, and I'll send that out to one lucky punter tomorrow. Right, so I did want to just, what was that? I just wanted to, Jerry from last week made a note here about how about a Tuesday live show to demonstrate how to use a couple of different metal detectors so people can see what sort of machine they want. Well, we've sort of thought about that, and we can probably do something like that. We did a Friday we ran a sluice on the Friday a couple of weeks ago, and that was a huge success. So we might do Tuesday's tips or something on a, not Tuesday, Thursday. Tips Thursday or something. We'll do something. And if we do it during the day, it means I can go across the road to the park, I can be on the beach, I can be sometimes out in the goldfields, depending on the yes. So we can do a bit of that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, so while we're here, let me just get rid of some of this gear here. We've got a couple of, I've got to tell you something. We've got a big announcement here in Queensland, right? That's not it. Here it is here. Queensland gold prospecting. It's the nugget hunt. Some states have token hunts. Some have gold bashes, right? We're having a nugget hunt in Queensland. We're not mucking about. So 28th and 29th of September, right? This is going to be phenomenal. Only 100 people. It costs you $100, right? $100 a head, but it's fully catered, okay? You do need to bring some, if you like a drink, you do need to bring a drink. But there's all sorts of stuff there. You have to be a member of Queensland Gold Prospecting to be covered under the insurance, right? And you have to get in the first 100 spots. I think there's only like 40 spots left. So this is Queensland's first, hopefully every year, nugget hunt. And 37 spots left. The nugget hunt. Only 37 spots left. It's a whole weekend. It will be phenomenal. I'll be there. That may discourage some people, but I will be there. So that is up near Gladstone. So that's 5 or 6 hours, 5 hours drive from Brisbane, right? So the event is the Saturday and the Sunday, okay? Just looking at it, I'm going to drive up on the Friday morning, right? You're allowed to camp there Friday night. You're not allowed to detect, I don't think, until the hooter goes on Saturday morning, and then the hooter will go on Sunday night, and you're allowed to camp there Monday night. It's Sunday night, so you can go home Monday. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going up the Friday, come home the Monday. Donnie and the boys up there have done a phenomenal job with that, but seriously, get onto that. That'll be a cracking weekend. Only 100 people, so there's only 37 spots. I know that Donnie's already talking about waiting lists. Yes, so get onto that, because that will be one of the best weekends. There's nuggets, gold nuggets going to be buried up there, as well as it being in a gold field. So, like, get onto that. Like, the other states can have token hunts and all this fine coins and stuff. We're gonna find gold nuggets. So, beautiful job. So I'm going to bang on about that every week until then, and we might even I believe there's reception there, so we may even do Monday Night Live on the Saturday night. So, yes. So, live from the Nugget Hunt. So, Johnny says, come to the Lancourie Gold Bash. It's on the weekend after that, the Gold Bash. I was going to come to that, to the Gold Bash, but no reception there. So I can't do the show, which sort of sucks. So, and satellite truck's about 25 grand. So I haven't got 25 grand, so sorry, Lancourie. Yes, so, but you've got to be quick with that one. The other one I wanted to mention just quickly, it's not until a little bit later. Ararat Gold Dig, the Victorian Victorian Detecting Club is Victorian Detecting Championships. This should be a bit interesting too. It's on 20 and 21st of October, so it's about a month later. Get on to that one. So that'll be a cracker. I haven't got a Lancourie Gold Bash sign up yet. I need to probably go and get one of those. So, they're the announcement. So they're the announcements. All of these things that I've just listed out, Lancourie, the Ararat Gold Hunt, the world's greatest metal detecting weekend, the Queensland Gold Hunt, will be a year. They're a yearly thing. So the first yearly one is the Queensland one. It's the first time it's been on here, but it will be a yearly one. I'm confident about that. So, yes, and there is going to be, at the Gold Hunt, there's going to be a lot of massive prizes. So, there's going to be detector giveaways and all sorts of gear to give away. So, yes. So, that's what's going on there. Right. Now, have I covered all the gear, Taylor? Is there more gear? I always have a pan kit with me. What else do I always have? Always got a fridge with a couple of coldies in it for after the day's done. Of course, when I get home. Bit of the old insect repellent, keep the ticks and the flies away. But that's about all that I'm willing to admit to at the moment, sort of thing. So there is always more gear coming, for me it seems, and the ute always gets more detectors and what have you in it. So yes. Right, so you've only got about 7 minutes left if you want to go into the draw for a Bushwhacker Gold Rat Sluice. Just share the post and we can go from that. So, I always get this question, always, and I got it a couple of times last week. And it was, do you hold the coil above the ground or do you rub it on the ground? And then the next question is, that I always get is, do you leave the coil cover on the bottom of the coil? Have we just passed that ATX over, mate? So, this is the coil cover, right? I always have a coil cover on the machine, right? It just protects, like that coil is dirty, but almost new, not a scratch on it, okay? So, keep the coil covers on it, right? They're a disposable part, and get your coil as close to the ground as you possibly can. So, scratch the bejeebers out of it, sort of thing. And the trick is to cover every square inch of the ground. So, like, I don't know how you think about it, but I watch people and they're scanning like this, and they're missing big triangles of area because they're not slow enough. So you've got to be really, really, really slow. So yes, but always use the skid plates on them, or the bash plates, or the coil covers, and get the coil on the ground, over the top of it. Rub the coil on the gravel. You've got to get close to the ground. So yes, so yes, so that I always get that question, and most of these coils are pretty robust, so you can get stuck into it, sort of thing. Trevor, that's a great way to think about it. Pretend you're painting the ground with a paintbrush, and you want to get the paint over every section of the ground. That's a fantastic way to watch it. I happened to be watching The Detectorists last night, and Lance has got a terrible swing pattern on him. He's just terrible. He leaves 2 feet. You know, it's it's shocking. So they needed someone like Trevor on as a consultant for the show. So yes. Yes, right, so, okay, what else have we got here? Elliot asked last week about reading the ground and finding gold. I'm actually scheduling all of the Monday Night Lives out till the end of the year, and I know I've got a couple of gold, 2 or 3 gold how to find gold. We're going to split it up a bit because we run out of time. So we're going to do creeks, we're going to do detecting and ground reading, all that sort of stuff. So it's all coming up. Next week we're going to have a really good look at Trove and Oz at War. Thank you, Taylor. I'm hopeless at remembering this stuff. And yeah, so we'll really get into Trove and Oz at War because there's a lot in there that we haven't even really touched on. So, yeah, so that's all. That's what'll happen next week. And next week's giveaway, I think, is a. Have you got? It's the power strips, yeah. So we're going to get some LED. This is next week's power strip lights. So, so we'll do that for next week. Right, so tonight we will give away, let me just load up let me get the randomizer starting. It takes a little while to warm up and get things going. So we'll just get it going here, won't be a moment. So lots of people also asked me, is it worthwhile taking quartz home and crushing it? So normally no, unless you can see visible gold in it. There is no real point in taking it home and crushing it. If you did want to, I would take a little piece home, record where it came from. That's the most important bit. Otherwise you end up with 10,000 rocks from 10,000 places. One of them's got gold in it and you don't know where that is. So make sure you record where it is. Put it in a little snap-lock bag or something like that. Yeah, where is my rake? Someone just mentioned a rake. Who was that? Tony, I've got a rake as well. I don't know, it must be still in the ute. Anyway, yeah, so what was I talking about? I forget now. But anyway,
next week's prize and the draw.
Oh yeah, so I don't know what I was talking about, yeah. But anyway, I got all distracted with where's my rake. I was worried that I'd left it out in the bush on the week during the week. Right, I was talking about crushing it. So you can crush a little bit at home, but make sure you record where it's come. But yeah, so anyway, the randomizer is fired up, and let me just see what's going on with it here. So we've got a few prizes actually. We've got a couple of Monday Night Live mugs. And then we've got a Monday Night Live cap. Here it is here, Monday Night Live cap. And we've got some Gold Digger stuff coming, but it's not quite here at the moment. And of course, the Gold Wrap Bushwhacker Backpacker Sluice. We'll go out to one lucky punter in the morning. So, yeah, so let me just run this randomizer here. So we will do, let's draw the, we'll draw the Sluice first. So let's fire the randomizer up. So Darren from Stanthorpe wins the what is it? Backpacker Sluice for tonight. So Darren and I will contact you straight after the show and or get your address. With that, so congratulations, mate. And then we've got, let me just run it here again, Colin from the Blue Mountains. Colin, congratulations, mate. You run a Monday Night Live cap. Then we'll do a couple of mugs. Andrew, where's Andrew? I don't know where Andrew's from. Andrew, you've got a Monday Night Live mug, and we'll just do one more. We'll get it fired up here. One more Monday Night Live mug, and Tony, where's Tony from? I don't know where Tony's from, but Tony, I will contact you after the show, and I'll send you out that. So that's it for the night, guys. Big show next week. We're going to get into Trove and Oz at War. Lots of research on relic sites and all that fun stuff. It will give people a bit of an idea on how I research, and I'm sure everyone will put their two bobs worth in. And don't forget, we'll be giving away the power strips, the light strips, LED light strip, for next week's show. And don't forget, if you have got any questions, just give me a call. I can talk about. You got no idea how much rubbish I can talk. So if you just want to ring up and have a chat, feel free to do that. So, righto, guys. I'll see you all next week. And thanks very much, guys.